Welcome back. Carbohydrates are a really, really important part of your diet. They are our primary source of fuel. How do we know which carbohydrate to use? Well, carbohydrates are defined by their chemical composition and by what they do once we swallow them. There are simple carbohydrates, better known as bad carbohydrates, and there are complex carbohydrates, better known as good carbohydrates. Let's talk about complex carbohydrates. I'm going to use a strand of pearls again for this explanation. You've got the strand, which are the chemical bonds that hold each of these sugar molecules together. So a complex carbohydrate is a chain of sugars. So when you eat this, it goes into your stomach, and your body actually has to break it down. It has to do its job. It has work to do, and it has to break the chemical bonds that hold each and every one of these glucose together. And when it does that, it liberates the glucose so that your body can actually suck it up in your small intestines, and you can use that glucose for energy. Now, another thing with complex carbohydrates is they keep you fuller longer because of this process. You actually end up eating less. It has fiber in it, and again, the complex carbohydrates are your legumes, your vegetables, and your whole grains. So those are going to keep you fuller longer, satiated longer, and again, they're going to keep your glucose level stable, which is what we want, and they have a low glycemic index. Why is a low glycemic index important? Well, a glycemic index is how fast it takes your food to raise your blood sugar, and that's really important. We want to keep that low. We want to keep that stable. That being said, let's move on to a simple carbohydrate that does not do that. A simple carbohydrate happens to be just one of these, one single molecule of sugar. And your body, when you eat a simple carbohydrate, such as donuts, cakes, cookies, chips, soda, cornflakes, when you eat something like that, your body doesn't have to do anything. All the work is already done for you here. You just swallow it, and then it sits there going, where am I going? What am I doing? Like a crazy person. It wants to do something right now. So if you're not going to do something right now, if you're not going to go run a marathon on the box of cornflakes you ate and the 3 donuts, then don't be eating that, because that's just going to be stored right here, and we don't want that. You may as well slap that on. So let's make sure that we don't do simple carbohydrates unless we actually need to have simple carbohydrates, which we'll also get into in just a moment. Now, I want to tell you that there is a time and place for simple carbohydrates, and not all simple carbohydrates are the same. For example, fruit. It really is the exception. Fruit happens to be a simple carbohydrate, but when you digest it, because there's fiber in it, you actually digest it like a complex carbohydrate. Bottom line, the more fiber and sugar together, the more complex. The less fiber and sugar together, the more simple. When you have complex and more fiber, it takes longer to digest, it's healthier for you, and you feel fuller longer, and therefore you're eating less. Really simple. Now, there's a time and a place for this. The time and the place is if you're an athlete and you are running a marathon or you're playing a major tennis tournament and you need simple carbohydrates and nothing else in your stomach so that your body is just in energy mode. There's a time and place for this, but there's a better choice. Better choices are something like white rice, potatoes. Those are better choices to have when you have to have a simple carbohydrate. Now, this stuff here, which is, I know, yummy, 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 but I have to tell you, there is a place a little bit for this too. You have to love your life, and you have to have some fun in your food if you consider this fun. And nobody should be doing everything all of the time. It's boring, very, very boring. So if you eat, once again, if you eat well most of the time and you cheat once in a while, it does nothing, absolutely nothing. The problem lies when you eat yuck and you say, well, I'm going to have a salad today, so it does nothing either. That one salad you have, twice a week does nothing for you if you're eating yucky. So, again, you can have these seldomly. Just keep it seldom. Now, I want to tell you things that you can use in your everyday life right here, right now. I want to hear some common mistakes and some common good answers for you to change your lifestyle right now. Are you having cereal in the morning? Okay, lots of people are giving their children cereal in the morning. I can promise you, if you were eating cereal like cornflakes, unless it's really, really, really high fiber, really, really, really high protein cereal, I promise you, and try it if you want, you will be starving after 2 hours, really, 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 really hungry. It does nothing for you, and if you're not using it, I'm right here. So my suggestion to you is to have something like Ezekiel bread, which I'll get into in just a moment. This is Ezekiel bread. This is what it looks like. It's a weird name. Ezekiel bread is a high protein, high whole grain bread, and put an egg on it. That combination you're going to say to yourself at 12 o'clock in the afternoon, oh my God, I should be hungry. Why aren't I eating right now? Now, that's the difference. Satiates you longer, better for you, fuller longer, and just all around healthier. Now, to Ezekiel bread, white bread versus Ezekiel bread. You will recognize every ingredient in this bread, which is a must do. You must recognize all the ingredients. If you don't recognize it, look it up on your phone when you're shopping, and if you can't figure out what the heck it is, don't buy it. It's not good if you can't figure out what it is, all right? For the most part, Ezekiel bread is, again, a high protein, high whole grain bread, a very good choice. And what this also comes in is a raisin bread. So for me, when I want that, and sometimes I want that, and sometimes I'll have that, very rare, I go to raisin bread. It has plump, yummy, delicious raisins in it. It sounds like, oh, yummy, Lindsay, I'd rather have a donut. But you know what? Eventually, you won't want that, because eventually, when you start eating right, that's going to make you feel yuck. Okay, so this is a really good alternative. And this you can find at your local supermarkets now, because it's so prevalent to eat properly now. Let's go into another breakfast food, which is your oatmeal. Oatmeal is really, really yummy in the morning for a lot of people, and people like it because it lowers your cholesterol along with a lot of other things. It pulls it out. So there's two types that you can buy, and it's kind of deceiving because one's more complex than the other. One is instant oatmeal, and the other one is they call old-fashioned or steel-cut oats. Go for the steel-cut old-fashioned ones. They take a little longer in the morning, but those are far more complex. They'll last you longer, and they're way healthier to do, okay? So look for that when you're shopping. The next thing I want to tell you about is rice. A lot of people have rice on a regular basis. Don't have white rice. White rice has nothing going on in here when you swallow it, and most people have it during dinner. So if you're having rice at dinner, make it brown rice. White rice is going to go in there and it's going to say, where's the marathon? Hello? And so, and it's not going to be there. So that's going to store. If you do brown rice still has the hull on it, so it's a complex carbohydrate. When you swallow it, your body's going to have work to do, and it's going to spew your glucose. So the last little tidbit I want to say, and the last little bit of information, is if you need to snack a lot, try snacking on berries. They have a low glycemic index. That is raspberries, blueberries, blackberries, strawberries.